In this video, I will show you how to add details to the felted project. Hi, this is Eri from Palmeri Arts and Crafts. I've been busy felting wine koozies and can koozies in the last couple of months. I wondered if I could add some details by embroidery or needle felting. I decided to needle felt using some waste yarn. Let me show you how I added these designs. For needle felting, you will need felting needles. I used two sizes for this project, a bigger needle to establish the design and a smaller needle for fine-tuning. You can use these needles as they are or attach the needle to the handle for a better grip. Additionally, you will require felting mat to place under the fabric. This mat came with a couple of felting needles. To transfer the design onto the fabric, I recommend using sulky paper. I will explain about this paper during the demonstration. We also need some carded wool for felting. This chunk was actually a pile of waste yarn, which I saved just in case. Well, I am happy to finally find its purpose after many years of knitting. If you have some waste yarn and would like to repurpose them, check the separate video of how to transform waste yarn into carded wool. In this video, I am adding a cute Valentine's Day themed design onto this can koozie. The reason why I love using sulky paper is that it allows me to trace, write, or print the pattern. For printing, you can use both laser or inkjet printers. It truly feels like fabric, very flexible and durable. It is also sticky, so you don't have to spend time pinning onto the fabric. And the best part is, it will wash away once you are done. When I first attempted to work on this project, I had no idea what I should be using. I bought a couple of products which did not work out. I will get to that at the end of this video, so you don't have to make same mistake that I made. The sulky paper was so easy to cut, which is another part I loved. I wanted to add lines, so I used a permanent marker and drew directly onto the paper. I was afraid it would bleed on a fabric textured paper, but the line came out clean and crisp. Once it's done, stick it to the fabric and it is ready for the needle felting. Before we start poking, let's make sure we have a felting mat directly under the fabric. Now pull out some wool, place it on the line, and start stabbing with a larger needle. We will continue following the line until first base layer is done. When stabbing the fabric, the needle should be pushed down all the way down to the mat. The goal here is to catch the fiber with the needle and then in and through the fabric. When moving the needle tip to the next area, please make sure it is all the way out of the fabric. The needle is very easy to break when the force is added to the wrong direction. Since it is a can koozie, the surface is supposed to be curved. I didn't like how the fabric was being pushed down as I poke, so I'm adding a folded felt underneath to keep the curved shape. After a lot of stabbing, the base is finally done. Now we can add more wool to fill some areas and make it denser. You can also use smaller needles to catch loose fibers in place. We want to make sure it is felted well so the design won't come off. By the way, if you are interested in making these koozies, patterns are available for free on my website. They come with follow-along videos and detailed instructions. Please visit palmeriknits.com for more information. Once it's done, it is time for the fun part. Place the fabric into a bowl of water. You will be amazed how quickly the paper starts to disappear. We can take it off by rubbing the fabric, but be very gentle. We don't want to ruin the design after the hard work. It needs to be rinsed a few times. Once it is all clean and no more paper on the fabric, gently squeeze the water and use a big towel to get the excess water out. Before drying, either put some newspapers inside or, in this case, put a can to shape the koozie and let it air dry. This koozie is dried overnight. You might see some fibers which didn't get felted very well. It is because we had the paper in between the fabric and the fiber. All we need to do is retouch the area with the needle and more wool as needed. If things didn't turn out well, don't worry. We can always redo the process. I didn't like how this line turned out so straight, so I picked fiber off from the fabric and refelted again. There are some loose fibers. I like using smaller needles to catch these fibers and felt into the line. This cleanup process makes the letters clear and crisp. And here it is all done. Now let me talk about the product which didn't work out for the project. But before we move on, I just wanted to mention that it takes a lot of time and effort to create one video. So if you are enjoying this video, please don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Thank you for your support. The first product I used was this heat transfer pencil. I think it would have worked just fine if I was using smooth fabric. The problem was that I was trying to transfer the design onto this very rough felted fabric, so it didn't transfer very well. Also, there will be an extra step to change the design to the mirrored format, which I wasn't a big fan of. I should have thought of this when I purchased this product, but the pencil is a dark red color, so even if it transferred well, it wouldn't have worked on the darker fabric. The next product I used was Print Stitch Dissolve. The product description sounded like exactly what I was looking for. However, I was disappointed when I realized the texture of the paper was harder than expected. Maybe it works for embroidery or sewing, but for needle felting, it could not tolerate the repetition of needle stabbing. It started to rip and fall off quickly. I could still felt some lines to guide the shape, but it wasn't the best product to work with. I want to mention that this is my experience with this particular project, so please keep in mind that I am not saying these products are not good. These are made for sewing and embroidery, not for needle felting. So if you are working on a different kind of fabric and project, they might be a great product to use. But for the needle felting, I believe Sulky Sticky Fabric Solvi, its very mouthful name, was the best option for me. I would love to know what kind of needle felting you did after watching this video. Please share your experience in the comment below. Thank you for watching. See you next time.